Chairman and Senator Portman, members of the committee, America is under attack. We're under attack today. And this is one of the most serious conflicts, one of the most serious challenges that this country has faced in the post-World War II period. The two positions that we're really talking about today are the equivalent of the Secretary of Defense and the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. These are people who will be charged with defending this country in what is an ongoing and serious conflict. I'm taking time out now from an Armed Services Committee hearing with the Secretary of Defense and the head of the Joint Chiefs, and cyber is one of the things that we'll be talking about. It is a ubiquitous challenge, not only to the government, but especially to the private sector. And that is one of the really significant challenges in how we respond. We have to reimagine conflict. We think of conflict in terms of armies and battleships and air forces, but we're really now talking about the front line of this conflict can take place in a server farm on Wall Street, in a pipeline company or in an electric company or in a water service utility anywhere in America. Chris Inglis served with Mike Gallagher and I on the Solarium Commission, which was created by this Congress in 2019 to devise a national cyber policy. This was a unique commission that had 4 members of Congress, 4 members from the executive, and 6 members from the private sector, and totally nonpartisan process and a very intense process. In fact, next Monday will be our 43rd meeting of the Solarium. Sitting next to me through most of those meetings was Chris Inglis, who I had never known before but have gotten to know very well during this process. His credentials are impressive. In fact, when I first looked at it, I thought, this guy has had 2 full careers. He must be 100 years old. He has 30 years of service in the federal government, particularly as Deputy Director of the National Security Agency, but also 28 years in the Air Force as active duty, and also in the Air Force Reserve, retiring as a general. He has degrees in computer science. He has immense knowledge and experience in this field. Beyond that, however, and the reason I'm so enthusiastic about his nomination is his leadership qualities, which I observed during the course of our deliberations as the Cyberspace Solarium Commission. He has a quiet but persuasive leadership style. All of us have been in meetings where there's one person, when they begin to speak, you lean over and say, now what are they going to say, because this is going to be important. That's Chris Inglis. This is an immensely important job because of the intersection between the private sector and the federal government and the complexity of the challenge throughout the federal government. The fundamental purpose of the National Cyber Director is to coordinate federal cyber policy among all these different agencies that have a piece of it, but also to coordinate cooperation between the federal government and the private sector. He'll be working with Jen Easterly and Ann Neuberger in the National Security Council, which I think represents the 3 of the absolute perfect combination to lead this effort to defend our nation. I'm very proud to be able to introduce Chris Inglis to the committee. I honestly believe, based upon 3 years of extensive engagement in this issue with people across the country, he is the single best person to fill this role, and a particularly important role as the first leader of the Office of National Cyber Director in the Executive Office of the President. So, Mr. Chairman, I cannot recommend Chris Inglis more highly, and I'm delighted that he is willing to re-enlist, if you will, in federal service and service to the country. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I look forward to Chris's testimony.